Hello, my name is Abraham Kline, and today I'm going to talk about relationships. Because who better to help you get through the mucky, miry thing that is relationships than me, the unmarried bachelor himself, Abraham Kline. And particularly, I'm going to talk to us guys. And I'm going to do something I don't normally do. Well, it's not that I don't normally do it, it's just I don't really talk about it in general, but I'm going to defend women. That's right. I'm going to defend women, and hear me out. Like this is not me compromising. I'm not going liberal. Okay, but there's things that you sometimes see when you scour the interwebs. Although I don't think we really scour anymore. Like, do we really like? A lot of times we make going on the internet sounding like it's a journey, but really it's just kind of a stroll, like on different apps and stuff like that, or whatever. Because we're not really it's really not that big of a deal. Anyway, all that aside, when you find yourself on the internet, a lot of times you'll see things pop up, whether that be pro-feminist or pro-traditional men masculinity and stuff, and things like that. You'll see different arguments that come up, and one that comes around a lot is the ones that bash girls that go after bad guys over good guys. Now, I'm not here to say that it doesn't happen. If the consensus typically is, and I think all of us have known plenty of girls who have gotten into relationships with guys that were just horrible. That's one thing, and I get that. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen where a girl will choose a bad guy over a good guy or whatever. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I think sometimes the idea of it is a little bit more nuanced than I think we like to make it out to be. I think it's a little more complicated than that. Because again, if we were to look at relationships through the traditional lens as being something where, again, saying that you're someone who believes that there are gender roles, right, and that there are gender preferences in which often, a man, all right, again, is going to seek someone, a female, who is more feminine, and a woman is going to seek a man who is more masculine, right, so to speak. There are certain qualities that you may find, whether that be consciously or subconsciously, more attractive. Okay? All right. Trying to say it all without really trying to sound like I'm some sort of psychologist or anything. But it's kind of the case, okay? But one of the things I think that has sort of been fed into many young men's minds regarding relationships, again, me being the expert that I am, is that, they are rejected because they are a nice guy or a good guy, right? And, and again, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but are you really a nice guy? Okay? Because there is a difference in what is the traditional nice guy and what is the Hollywood version of a nice guy. Right? So take a moment, if you will. I know not all the people that watch my channel have watched many movies or anything like that. Perhaps you've read books though, or listened to different things, stories, and oftentimes they portray, this gorgeous girl who's going after the jerk, right? And then you have this awesome guy, this nice nerd guy, who just doesn't get anybody, right? But in the end, the nice guy ends up getting the beautiful girl, and or whatever. That's just kind of the sort of the stereotype, if you will. And young men growing up have seen this and have often said, because obviously being a young man, wanting to know the secrets of life, wanting to know this mystery of finding God's perfect will for their life, they want to have the qualities, hopefully, that will gain them that ultimate goal, if you will, of finding, of attracting them, because nobody wants to be unattractive. You don't want to, not be, you don't want to be rejected by God's perfect will for your life. I mean, come on, she's God's perfect will for your life. So, you don't want her to reject you. So they will see this idea of the nice guy. But really, what is he? Is he really the nice guy? Again, I keep saying this, and I want to differentiate them now, okay? Because there are two types of nice guy. As I said, there's the traditional and right nice guy, and there is the Hollywood storybook fairy tale version of the nice guy. And very often, young men, especially today, seem to follow the more Hollywood storybook fairy tale version. And that is not the nice guy, the actual nice guy, but the harmless guy, the weak guy. All right? Now again, a girl may look at a nice guy and think, and may look at him as being the weak or harmless guy, because there's a lot of them out there. And of course that's, obviously, up for them to sort of hopefully differentiate, right? But that's the thing about it is, it's important as men, right, as the young guys, because I'm talking to us now, right, now that I've defended them, that we be not the Hollywood fairy tale storybook version of the nice guy. Because the nice guy in that realm is not actually a nice guy. In fact, he may even be more harmful to the girl than the bad guy. The one that nobody likes. The big guy that's super mean and contentious and loud and obnoxious. But somehow, Larisha, whatever, likes him. Just pulling her name out of my hat there. Larisha likes him, Roxy, whatever her name is. She likes this guy, and so he'll think, I've been a nice guy this whole time, and she don't like me. I'm going to start a whole podcast about, how girls are all evil and stuff and whatnot. But that's the thing, though. You may not be a nice guy. You may simply be a harmless guy. Now, how do I know this? Because I spent so many years of my life, and again, I'm a recovering nice guy. I'm a recovering harmless guy, I guess, more case. Because I believed this lie, that in order to be a good guy, you had to be a harmless guy. You had to not avoid contention, but avoid all controversy at all. And that's not a nice guy. A nice guy, if he is faced with standing up for himself, he will. If he's faced with defending, his family, his mother, his God, his career, his girlfriend, his wife, his children, he will do so. He's not going to fold like a napkin and just walk away. He will stand up for those things. That, friends, is the nice guy. He's not out looking for controversy like the bad guy. But if he's faced with it, he will. And again, that's the difference between the nice guy and the harmless guy. And as I said, very often, as young men, we have fallen under the harmless guy. I spent many years of my life being the harmless guy. And again, I'm recovering from it. I'm sure I still often show forth qualities of being the harmless guy. But I'm working on it. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and stars, sun and the earth, and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient he must be, because he's still working on me. Sounds like a good song. Anyway, so yeah, that's the difference. And I hope that we as young men get away from the Hollywood fairy tale version of a nice guy. And realize that there is a nice guy that is worth emulating. And he's nothing like Hollywood says. He will stand for what he believes in. He's not going to look for trouble, but he's going to stay a nice guy. I don't know if this is going to help you at all. I'm not even sure if this is going to help me. But that's what I found, is that there is a difference. And I think a lot of times you're not rightfully calling yourself a good guy. Because unfortunately, what that girl sees is not a nice guy. She sees a harmless guy. A guy that isn't going to stand up for her. A guy who isn't going to show any kind of spine, no kind of backbone, no kind of grit. And again, in certain situations, you could be more harm than good. So be a nice guy. Don't be a harmless guy. Don't be a bad guy. You don't want to be that jerk, right? No. But you don't want to be a helpless guy either. You don't want to be a weak guy. Be a nice guy. And, from there, just pray. So, thanks for watching.